Hello everybody, today we're going to be continuing on with solving these proportions here for missing values, and today is going to deal mostly with percent proportions and how we can figure out what percent numbers are of each other and how much a percentage of a number is, etc. Alright, so getting down to definitions here, we'll start with definitions as usual. So, a percent is just a ratio that compares a number to 100. So that's what the cent part is. Cent means 100. So century, 100 years, cents, 100 cents makes $1, etc. Remember, a ratio is just a comparison between two values. We can see them as fractions or as 5 to 2 would be that ratio there. So percents are just examples of ratios that compare to 100, with 100 being the whole. Alright, next is a percent window. So these are going to help us solve these percentage problems without using the shortcut. The shortcut will make things easier, but only in certain situations. So it's important to understand how this works as a whole. So what this is going to do is this sets the proportion we are worried about up for us. So this little window here is how we're going to compare the things we'll see. So up here we're going to get is. Down here we'll get of. Here we'll see the percent that we're dealing with. And then down here will be 100. So we'll see how this works here in a little minute. So how this percent window is going to work is, sorry if I'm scrolling a little too fast, just go ahead and pause it so you can complete your notes. How this works is we plug the numbers we're given, so plug the numbers into the correct window pane, find the cross product like we did last week. Remember, that's the butterfly method as well. That's what some of us may have heard quite a bit. And then we'll use inverse operations to solve. So I'll work through this whole one here with us, even though it kind of shows it to us here. So the thing about this window pane deal is that it sets the proportion up for us. I'll show you how. So down here we'll always have 100. So what number is 60% of 48? So what number is, well, we don't know that. The percent always goes up above the 100. So we do not know what is that number, but we do know we're trying to take it of 48. So this window directly makes our ratios for us in order to solve the proportion. So we'll get x over 48 equals 60 out of 100. So that's how they got to this section right here, was they took from that window pane. Alright, and then even though it shows it here, we're going to do it all together. So remember that butterfly method, we're going to cross multiply. So 100x, just like they got here, is equal to, and then 60 times 48, which I'm just going to steal from the window here, 2,880. So we've got our one-step equation, and then just like they continue to do here, we will divide this by 100, divide that by 100, and just like they got, x is equal to 28.8. So 60% of 48 is 28.8. So pretty easy here. So we're going to do these next examples here together so you can get a good idea for your independent practice here. So we will make our window pane so that we can continue this on. So we know we're getting 63%, so 63 out of 100. And of would go down here, right? So just like up above, of goes down below. And we don't know what that is. That's what we're looking for. So, like before, this sets up our ratios for us for our proportion. X over 300 is going to equal, x over 300, excuse me, is going to equal 63 over 100. So we will get 100x equals, and 300 times 63, I don't know that off the top of my head. Let me use my calculator here. 300 times 63 is going to give us 18,900. Divide by 100. Divide by 100. And x will equal 189. So what this is telling us is that 189 is 63% of 300, which would make sense because 50% of 300 is half of 300, which would be 150. So for 63%, we're kind of in the ballpark of that 50%. So this is how we are solving these. And remember, we got that equation set up by taking our cross product, or our butterfly method here. All right, so we'll continue this along here. We've got our window set up. So we only want 2% this time, so 2 over 100. We once again don't know this, and we want to know what 2% of 820 is. So once again, this sets up our ratios for us. Alrighty. And then we're just going to use that again. So butterfly method, or cross product, going 100 times x. So 100 times x. Set that equal to 820 times 2. I believe that is 1,640, but let me double check here. 820 times 2. Yep. 1,640. Divide by 100. Divide by 100. And x is, so a quick method for dividing by tens or hundreds or thousands is we have 2 zeros in our 100. So we're going to move our decimal point 2 places. So 16.4 is 2% of 820. All right, couple more here. So 157 is what percent of 2,512? So this is going to make our window look a little bit different here because we don't have the same things to plug in. So we want to make sure we're reading these sentences carefully. So 100, we want to know 157 is. So that's going to go up in our is window this time. And then of, same thing, 2,512. And we want to know what percent that is. We don't know the percent this time, so we put our variable there. So 157 over 2,512 is what percent? All right, so we're still going to do our butterfly method the same way. We just have a different ratios set up. So 2,512x is going to be equal to 157 times 100. So 5700. To solve this, divide by 2,512. Divide by 2,512. And we will get x equals, so 15,700 divided by 2,512 will be 6.25. So that means 157 is 6.25% of 2,512. So we should have a pretty good idea of what we're doing by now. So once again, make our window. Remember, top left is. So is 24. Of what number? So we don't know what number we're looking for, right? We don't know what the what is or of. So our variable will go down below. And we have 60 over 100. So percent on top and then 100 on the bottom. So I think I'm going to skip rewriting the ratios now because we're just doing our cross product across these diagonals because it already kind of set up our ratios for us. So we're going to get 60 times x is equal to 24 times 100, which is 2,400. We're going to divide by 60, and x is 2,400, whoops, sorry, 1 second. 2,400 divided by 60 is 40. So that means 60% of 40 is 24. Oh, we got that second number by multiplying these two right here as well. Alrighty, so remember that window pane? That's how we're gonna set up our ratios to solve these problems here. So remember, our independent practice starts on this page, so don't forget these problems when you are doing that. Also, be sure that you're reading really carefully the directions. So this tells us to fill in each percent window to set up the proportion. We do not have to solve in this section. We are just setting up our window. So let's go through number 1 together real quick. So if we're just setting up a window here, remember from up above, top left pane is the is number. So is 50. So, whoops, sorry. We have is being 50. Bottom left is of. So what percent of 200? So 200 will go in our of box. Then we have our percent number, and 100 is always going in the bottom right. And we don't know the percent here, so we're going to put in a x for percent. Alrighty, so complete the other 3 here exactly like that, and then there is the next page of problems on our assignment tab in Canvas. So that will be the 5-2 assignment. We'll continue on with this, and that will have where we set up and solve these percent proportions here. All right. As always, if you have any problems or questions, just go ahead and send me an email or a message in Canvas, and I will answer those as soon as I can. So be sure to always include the problems on our independent practice that show up on our notes page. And also, be sure that if you have more than one page to turn in for your assignment, that you're turning both of those in. We've been having issues with people only turning in half of the assignment or just a few problems that were on the notes page. So be sure that you're completing the whole thing and getting that done. And I will see you next time for lesson 5-3. Have a good day.